goodbye.
Absolutely sickening. Starmer got a standing ovation today, and the Oscar goes to...
Can do with this. Can I thank my right honourable and very dear friend?
And she wasn't the only one blubbing, not for the first time. Rachel Reeves has a breakdown in the House of Commons. Also tonight...
Reform win the next general election. As Home Secretary, I will ensure that all members of Parliament, of all parties, are provided with round-the-clock protection.
Zia Youssef says reform would give all MPs 24-hour security, and 3 illegal migrants have been sentenced to more than 70 years in prison for the brutal rape of a vulnerable woman. And...
A rally at the Central Hall, Westminster, of the National Federation of Old Age Pensions Associations draws a crowd of 4,000 old people.
Labour are set to raise the pension age and might scrap the triple lock. On my panel tonight, we have got broadcaster and journalist Linda Jubilee, Reform councillor Jamie McIver and journalist Nina Mishkov. And it's a bad day for virtue-signalling woke politicians.
Margaret Caharlick agus Majin Mai Privara, and it's unfortunate that we can't use our own language in this committee.
You can, yeah.
Pardon?
You can.
Ah, OK. Well, we didn't know. Sorry. So I'll continue in English, but because I wasn't prepared.
Oh, funny that, isn't it? Oh, right. It's almost like as if you really know the language, then you would just be able to speak it. Anyway, get ready, Britain. Here we go. Come on, England. Next.
Very good evening to you. Back to Patrick shortly. First, though, one story in town tonight. England's World Cup semi-final with Argentina, and we are still waiting for the first moment of magic tonight. The rivals locked in a tense but goalless battle at half-time. In fact, it is the first World Cup match on record not to see a single shot in the first 30 minutes. This, though, is the scene tonight. 2 football nations thousands of miles apart. First here to Buenos Aires, where Argentina fans are packed together hoping that Lionel Messi can deliver one more moment on the biggest stage in football. Back home, meanwhile, pubs, bars and fan zones packed out in London here. England supporters are watching and waiting, willing on the Three Lions into what could be their first Men's World Cup final since 1966. Also tonight, Sir Keir Starmer has said that Britain must do more to defend democracy following the murder of Anne Widdecombe. The Prime Minister paid tribute today to the former Conservative minister and later Reform spokeswoman during what was his final appearance at Prime Minister's Questions.
But I must start by saying I'm truly horrified by the murder of Anne Widdecombe. Yeah. She was a distinguished politician with deep convictions, whose vivid and fearless character captured the public imagination. My heartfelt condolences go out to all of her friends and all of her loved ones.
Leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch, also described Anne Widdecombe as a woman of high principle, adding that she had a wicked sense of humour.
A lot has been said about how she died. I want to focus on celebrating the life she lived. She was a woman of high principle, profound beliefs with a wicked sense of humour. A wonderful combination of being a serious person who did not take herself too seriously.
That comes as a man has been arrested today on suspicion of sending threatening communications after an alleged social media threat to shoot Reform UK leader Nigel Farage. The post was reportedly made in May when Mr Farage was still the MP for Clacton. The Met Police have not named him but say the case relates to a social media post reported to officers earlier this year. The suspect, who is in his 20s, was arrested at an address in South London. It has now been bailed pending further inquiries. Reform UK today also claimed that all MPs should receive round-the-clock protection after counter-terrorism police said that Anne Widdecombe was killed in a targeted attack. Zia Youssef, the party's chairman, said that Britain must now ask why serving MPs still lack the security that they need.
Counter-terrorism police are investigating her murder as a suspected act of terrorism. And I can tell you about the climate in which she was killed. A relentless narrative from politicians and the media that Reform UK is a threat to be urgently stopped. A narrative so relentless, it constitutes incitement. And why are we targeted like this? Because we say things that are unfashionable among many in Westminster, but are popular in the country at large.
And 3 asylum seekers convicted over the extreme rape of a woman on Brighton Beach have been jailed for a total of 78 years. Egyptian national Ibrahim al-Sheikh and Iranian national Abdullah Ahmadi were found guilty of raping the woman in the early hours of October the 4th last year. A third man, Egyptian national Karim al-Danasert, was convicted of all 4 counts as a secondary party after encouraging the attack and filming it. Al-Sheikh and Ahmadi were jailed each for 27 years, while al-Danasert was sentenced to 24 years and 6 months. Those are tonight's headlines. More now with Patrick.
You can now watch GB News live across the United States of America and the world on Truth Plus. Scan the QR code to find out more or visit gbnews.com/truth.
Well, good evening, everybody. Look, very shortly, we're going to be taking you over to the United States of America and keeping you up to date with how England are getting on against Argentina with our chief US correspondent, Ben Leo. But before we do that, very serious matters happening here at home, because today, 3 illegal immigrants who had already been refused asylum were sentenced for the brutal rape of a vulnerable woman on Brighton Beach. Ibrahim al-Sheikh, 26, an Egyptian national, jailed for 27 years for 2 counts of rape. Abdullah Ahmadi, 26, an Iranian national, jailed for 27 years for 2 counts of rape. Karim al-Danasert, 21, an Egyptian national, jailed for 24 years and 6 months for 4 counts of rape as a secondary party for encouraging and filming the attack. Now, they were put up at this taxpayer-funded hotel. Britain literally rolled out the red carpet for these violent foreign rapists who all came to Britain on small boats. 2 of them were actually on the same small boat. 2 horrific rapists came together on one boat. And al-Danasert was the grinning monster who smirked on his way into court. I mean, good grief, look at the state of that. He was emotionless today as he was sentenced. He was asked in court if he knew the difference between rape and sex. And he said, rape is sex. So there you go. They've got long sentences, but they should never have been here in the first place. And as well, I should just remind you that the evening of this attack, they went back to their taxpayer-funded hotel and they filmed themselves on Snapchat having a barbecue and smoking what, to me, did not appear to be tobacco. And I bet you they won't be deported for years, if ever. Today's sentences follow a report that we actually covered yesterday, where illegal male migrants who are living in a detention centre in Scotland have been seen peering into female illegal migrants' bedroom windows. Now, the women at that camp have to be escorted around by security because of men like that. Now, these are the kind of men who we are bringing into Britain. They are breaking into Britain. And they have been for years. And what has been this government's response? Well, they've decided to open more asylum centres in small rural British villages like Linton-on-Ouse or Piddington, which have a population of just a few hundred people. In fact, I'm pretty sure in Piddington it's not even 200 people. And these illegals will be allowed to roam free. And it will just be men at these sites. The government also announced that it is expanding the use of the Crowborough military barracks in Sussex, where locals now have to do patrols to help keep, especially women and girls, safe, where groups of illegals hang around in the town centre and in parks, and where property prices have now predictably gone through the floor. Tomorrow, I will actually be doing a special report from Crowborough all day, starting at 9 a.m, and then doing my show live from there, 9 to 11 p.m, to highlight the issues faced by locals as a result of our open border madness, and also as well, I think, to highlight the fact that we are now going to, tragically, see a lot more of this in many more areas in the UK. And how many more people have to suffer before we get a grip? Let's get thoughts from our panel this evening. We are joined this evening by Linda Jubilee, journalist and broadcaster. We've also got Jamie McIver, Reform UK councillor. And we are also joined by Nina Mishkov, broadcaster and journalist. Thank you very, very much for joining us. So, look, yeah, Linda, I'll start with you. I mean, first things first, OK, these three vile individuals have got lengthy sentences, OK, but they shouldn't have even been here, should they? They were all already refused asylum.
Absolutely true. By the way, I think they all should have got life.
Yeah, well,
I think, you know, I've covered many court cases in Crown Court and at the Old Bailey. This is one of the worst rapes I have ever heard of. Some of the details of what went on that beach and under the cover of darkness, you could not repeat, even past the watershed on television. Yeah. So certainly this should never have happened. These people should not be here. Really, I would prefer to see them deported now. I don't think the taxpayer should be paying for them to be in prison for the next 24 to 27 years. But I don't think anything will be done about that. I was encouraged by the judge, who was very specific in her condemnation of these three, very specifically went outside the sentencing guidelines, I believe, which is a very good sign. Yeah. But we still have the problem, and I tell you, it's the problem of men-only hotels, men-only barracks. I'm not joking. I've been in some of those hotels when the Afghans came over, and I know that even Afghan girls inside the hotels are not safe. Yeah, and there can be no excuse for it now. You know, governments, politicians, they absolutely know the kind of risk that, you know, I'm not saying all, but I am saying a lot of these men actually pose. And to now have the policy where they're basically just going to inflict this upon various different, especially rural towns and villages, like we're seeing now with these military sites, and allow them to roam free. I mean, one of the individuals here was already wanted for murder in his own country, in Egypt. Yeah, where, by the way, they have the death penalty. Iran and Egypt, I believe, have the death penalty for things like murder and rape. So what's the problem with just sending them back?
Well, the problem is, first of all, that, A, they should never be here, and, of course, if you import the third world, you will get the third world. In many of these countries where these monsters have come from, it is quite normal to treat women the way that these men have treated this poor victim. My heart goes out for that victim. My heart also goes out to all of the people who haven't managed to get a prosecution, who have been raped or sexually assaulted by monsters like this, who are too scared to even talk about it because they'll be accused of being racist, because that's the sort of country we live in now, more worried about hurting the feelings of illegal migrants rather than supporting the victims of serious sexual assaults and rape. But the worst thing about this, Patrick, is it's still going to happen. When will the political class, when will the establishment realise that we have to have borders in this country? We have an invasion to this country, and it's not just women and girls' safety, that's up there. It is a national security emergency too, and I'm just sick and tired every single day seeing headlines like this, whether it's the prosecution or the sentencing of these vile monsters. We need them deported from this country, but we need to stop them coming. And how many of them now who have come to this country and actually been successful in claiming asylum and are now being given three-bedroom Taylor Wimpey homes in somewhere like Shropshire?
Well, quite possibly, yeah. And if I don't know if we might be able to bring up just the hotel pictures that they were staying in again, because that is really, really quite stark. I mean, the hotel that they were put in, they were given everything by the British taxpayer, actually. They were allowed to break into our country. They were put up in this hotel. Look at that. It was a wedding venue, had a spa, it used to have four-poster bed, literally the rolled-out red carpet. I mean, you could not make this up. And it was they left that hotel. We believe that they used their taxpayer-funded cards in order to get a bus to go to Brighton Beach to then commit this absolutely just unspeakable attack, predatory attack, dragging this woman off the beach and near a beach out there. I mean, it's incredibly graphic what happened to her, obviously. And then they went back to that hotel, had a barbecue, were smoking whatever they were smoking, filming it. I mean, good grief. Yeah, and it just, Nina, what more do we need to do about this, really? How many more lessons do we need to have here?
Well, this obviously is grotesque. These men are monsters, and they should be deported. They should have been deported already, before even they've been sentenced, because they've been refused asylum. Yeah. Firstly, the Home Office has never been fit for purpose. There should be a faster system. There should be, you know, within 6 weeks, 3 months tops, people should be assessed and either sent packing or given the help they need to start a new life. There's no doubt in my mind about it. There's no question about that. But my worry is that because we concentrate on these terrible cases, that we are completely ignoring the fact that in this country, 6 out of 7 women who are raped by people that they know. Yes. And that in this country, as far as children are concerned, a child is assaulted every 8 minutes in this country. I mean, so this is my thing, that we're somehow downgrading all these instances.
Just quickly on that, because we're going to go in a second just to a different story, but just on that, I think you're absolutely spot on that any kind of incident like that is horrific. I think there is something though in the psychology of the British people. It's certainly how I feel, which is that we have so many of our own monsters here that then when you add to that by, you know, importing or allowing people to import themselves, then that's the additional level of anger, which is that we've got all of that going on. We need to deal with that, but then we're also adding this to it. But we're just going to move on from this, if that's all right, quickly, just because we want to squeeze in another story in this section, not to be, disrespectful to this subject matter at all. But of course, there is another seriously big ongoing news story taking place at the moment. Very much a shift in tone and a much more uplifting story, to say the least. It is the fact that England are playing Argentina in the World Cup semi-final, and we've just gone 1-0 up.
Brilliant.
Anthony Gordon has scored. England have just gone 1-0 up against Argentina. Let's go to GB News' chief US correspondent in Atlanta for us tonight, Ben Leo.
Yes, Patrick. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry to hear you. We've just gone 1-0 up in this semi-final match against Argentina. What an atmosphere. It was tense. It was nervous. We're in an England bar here. I'll try not get the TVs in to break licensing laws, but get in. 56 minutes gone on the clock. It was a touchy first 56 minutes. First half, very cagey, like a chess match even.
There we go. Well, Ben's doing his best for us there from Atlanta. I think he's got those noise-cancelling headphones in where we are getting absolutely none of the sound on the atmosphere, but you can see it, you can feel it. Look at him. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. England 1-0 up.
We're on the attack again here. Harry Kane. Well, ball on the edge of the box. Yeah, Patrick, I can't really hear you, but we're 1-0 up. Anthony Gordon nesting in to put England ahead in this semi-final. Argentina now through on goal.
Oh.
Isaiah.
Oh, my gosh. Right, OK. Right, well done. Sorry, not one for the radio listeners, that must be said.
Argentina through on goal and a massive tackle there from Jed Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick, back to you. 1-0. We're going to New York. Our first World Cup final in 60 years.
I can't hear what he's saying.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, amazing. So, look, I know that you couldn't necessarily hear the atmosphere there, but you can feel it, can't you? So, look, just to clarify, yes, England 1-0 up. Oh, yes, OK, so Box Park, the fan zone, one of these famous fan zones that pops up around the country. We've got the moment that the England goal went in. I reckon there's beer everywhere. Come on, England. Fantastic. Look at the scenes signs of that, eh? Get in. Absolutely fantastic. And you know what? It is made all the sweeter by the way that the Argentinians played that first half. They were so dirty, so scrappy, from minute one, going straight through the back of Jude Bellingham. I mean, it's absolutely horrendous stuff. The referee, I think, has been pretty favourable to Argentina so far, I must say. But and also the fact that the Argentinian politicians have decided to make it all about the Falklands. You know, we did actually fight a war over that, you know? We did. Maybe they should get over it. I think... Oh, we can have a look at the Argentinian fans. Oh, you love to say... Oh, such a shame, isn't it? Gosh, I've not seen them that unhappy since the war. Right, OK, well done, everyone. Yeah, we're going to go to the Great British Giveaway now, and it's your chance to win a trip to the Falkland Islands. No, it's not. It's loads of cash, which, to be fair, you could spend on a trip to the Falkland Islands.
What would you do with £60,000 cash? What would you do with a real gold bar? Well, both have to be won in our Golden Summer celebration. First, there's £60,000 in tax-free cash to bolster your bank account this year. You could spend it on treats, splash out on the family, or just save it for a rainy day. It's entirely up to you. Plus, we'll also give you a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. That's genuine gold that you could gift to a loved one or just lock up in your own personal vault. The gold and the cash really could be yours. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Well, we have got loads on tonight. We're going to be talking about this.
Goodbye.
Oh, good riddance, more like. Has there ever been a man less deserving of a standing ovation? Our borders are non-existent, taxes are sky high, the job market's tanking. Thanks for the memories, Keir Starmer. But before that, millions of Brits could be forced to work for longer under plans to increase the pension age to 68. Public finances are creaking under the weight of the triple lock. So is it time to scrap it? And I think something great happened a minute ago.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that, because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
We can allow.
Stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Here at GB News, we made a promise to tell your stories. And on the 6th of August, we're marking 5 years of doing exactly that.
Celebrate with us by having your say. Join in the debates live on TV and radio.
And meeting your favourite presenters across the country, from Leeds to Aberdeen, from Belfast to Barry Island.
Plus, join me in Essex for our biggest live show of the year. Scan the QR code or visit gbnews.com/celebrate. Terms and conditions apply.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way.
You will not want to miss it, trust me. The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Welcome along to Patrick Christys tonight. I'd like to say a special thank you to the 3 people who are watching, given that England are currently 1-0 up against Argentina in the World Cup semi-final. 64 minutes in. Come on, lads. But we are going to be ploughing on with the show as if that wasn't happening, of course. Is it time to scrap the triple lock pension? They're talking about it. It's time now for the head-to-head. So, millions of Brits may now have to work until they are 68 before being able to claim their pension, under plans to bring forward a rise in the state retirement age. Also, the pension age is already due to increase 66 to 68 between 2044 and 2046, but now ministers are reportedly considering bringing that rise forward by at least 7 years, meaning that around 5 million of you currently aged between 49 and 55 would have to wait an extra year before receiving the state pension. The decision would save the government about £6 billion a year, apparently, and it comes as public finances continue to creak under the economic burden, they say, of the triple lock, which ensures that the state pension rises each year in line with whatever the highest out of inflation, wage increases, or 2.5%. Indeed, Andy Burnham has now been told by an international think tank, so, oh gosh, we must listen to those, that getting rid of the triple lock could save £60 billion. Look, tonight I'm asking, should it be scrapped? Going head-to-head on this now are the barrister Stephen Barrett and the Labour councillor Stuart Fawcett. Thank you very much, both of you, by the way, for joining us and presumably peeling yourselves away from the semi-final. But anyway, so Stephen, I'll start with you. Should we be scrapping this triple lock? Then they say it could save about 60 billion quid a year, or in total.
No. Obviously not. The entire point of being a country is that you have things that you pay for. So currently the government steals from us in taxes 1.4 trillion pounds. Okay, of that one, I think that should be reduced. And I'd still keep the triple lock because our pensioners are not living at large on £9,600 a year. They're just not. Okay, we have poor pensioners, and one of the things about being a decent human society is that you look after the vulnerable, you look after children, and you look after the elderly. So we just should not in any way be attacking pensioners. Pensioners are not the problem. The problem is we have a bloated state that raises 1.4 trillion in taxes whilst crushing the economy, and we need to set the economy free and control the state. We do not need to punish or hurt old people.
Stuart, your views?
I mean, I think it's a bit ludicrous to say that the government steals 1.4 trillion pounds off people. I think tax and spend at the minute, I think it's around about 850 billion to 1,000 billion that's being raised, and that's to pay for a lot of essential services. But on pensions, we just can't continue to afford the triple lock. The world has changed since the state pension was introduced under the welfare state and the introduction of the NHS. People are living longer. Our private sector is a lot more buoyant. People are tending to work later in age. But the biggest problem is that out of those three you mentioned, Patrick, wage growth has just not really happened since about 2011. Now, what we're saying to people is that the state will continue to pay pensions at this rate higher than what wages are growing at, and it's wages that pay for it, because the state pension isn't a pension like a pension pot. It's a liability the government have to pay every year, and it's people who are earning wages that primarily contribute to the most amount of tax that is being paid to the Exchequer. So we're facing a real difficult situation.
Okay, Stephen, do you want to come back to that?
So the problem is that we live in a socialist state, and this entire argument is really arguing over how we slice up a pre-existing cake. It's built upon the idea that the cake will stay at this size, which I think is fundamentally wrong. If you let the economy free, then wages will rise, which will be great. That there is no conflict between earners and pensioners. As I said, pensioners really are not living at large on £9,600 a year. They are not the problem. This is a massive distraction. You don't get the pension until you've done at least 10 years of paying in. So it's not even a benefit. If you want to attack unearning, undeserving benefit claimants, attack the people who come over on inflatable dinghies and get unearned wealth of a far greater magnitude. But really, the entire argument is just wrong. We should not be fighting over slicing up the pre-existing pie. The government is not mother. The government is not father. The government does not run the economy. We need to set the economy free from the government so that we can do things like afford pensions. And yeah, if we set the economy free, as Singapore once did, and we go down a capitalist path, we'll be able to afford whatever we like. And I would very strongly argue that the things we should afford are pensioners, children, the disabled, the vulnerable, and defence.
Yes,
but that's what we should be paying for.
Yeah, final word to you on this, Stuart. Go on then. Do you want to come back to what Stephen's just said there?
We don't live in a socialist state. I mean, the size of the tax and spend of the government is much smaller than the whole contribution from the private sector. The state pension is around about 2/3 of the welfare bill, which is the largest element of it. And if we were to have had it in line with wage growth since 2011, we would have had an extra around about £10 billion a year. So that would have been really helpful, especially when you considered how much the defence cuts were from previous Conservative governments. And it's certainly very helpful now. So I don't believe that. I think that growth is currently the main objective that the government has in order to make sure that we can create more revenue and give the private sector that ability for people to have their own private pension pots, which would be a lot healthier way of doing it. But neither do I believe that we can continue to sustain the trajectory that we are with a triple lock, because we've got the youngest in society really struggling, and then we've got an aging population which is more reliant upon this. And what you say there about the looking after older people, I completely agree with, that we should look after older people. But that doesn't mean that we can't look at other measures and means testing benefits to make sure that we can continue to do that responsibly.
All right, both of you, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate your time, especially tonight, given the football's on. So thank you very much. Stephen Barrett there, barrister and Labour councillor Stuart Fawcett. OK, look, yes, I can't wait to talk about this.
Goodbye.
What are they clapping for? He's ruined people's lives. Been the worst Prime Minister we've ever had. Our borders are non-existent, taxes are sky high, the job market's tanking. He's been essentially accused, anyway, of locking up patriotic Brits. I mean, what is his legacy? Seriously, but before we get on to that...
Reform win the next general election. As Home Secretary, I will ensure that all members of Parliament, of all parties, are provided with round-the-clock protection.
Well, a man has been arrested over an alleged social media threat to shoot Nigel Farage. So isn't reforms, Yusuf, right that all MPs need round-the-clock, taxpayer-funded security? That's next.
Be nice to escape the grey.
Clear skies, here we come.
As clear as our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
A gusty breeze expected for the Greek islands. Meanwhile, widely dry and sunny across much of Europe and feeling less hot
Finally, for Western Europe, I think it's also breezy for the Canary Islands, but mostly dry here. Spain and Portugal still hot in the east, but less hot compared with how it has been. And for France, we're no longer into the high 30s, drifting back to the mid 30s, but it's heating up for Italy, and it's staying breezy through the week for Greece.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Evening. Yes, it is time for your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Cloud will spill back in overnight, making for a bit of a dull start for some tomorrow, but it'll be another sunny day by and large, another warm one as well. A little cooler on some eastern coast thanks to high pressure and the breeze coming in from the North Sea. Low pressure to the southwest has been generating some heavy showers over northern France and the Channel Isles. We've actually seen one or two across the southwest of England also, but most have stayed dry and most will continue to stay dry overnight. There's that cloud spilling back in over eastern England and the Midlands, making for a drab start tomorrow morning. Quite a cool night, certainly across the north and rural spots will be down to single figures, staying quite warm and humid in the southwest, but comparatively, compared to the rest of summer, a reasonably comfortable night. Will be a bit of a grey start to Thursday though, over the Midlands, parts of East Wales, even starting with the mist and low cloud. Should see quite a bit of sunshine along the south coast, the west coast of Wales. A cracking start to the day for Northern Ireland, northwest England and western Scotland. Again, along these North Sea coasts there will be fret or har, and that could linger. It'll be quite patchy in nature and it may tend to drift offshore at times, but some of those eastern coasts will stay a little misty, and as a result on the cool side. Again, there is the chance of seeing some thundery showers coming up from France, perhaps affecting southwest of England, but I think it's going to be very hit and miss. Most places won't see any rain, so if you're after rain, it's not good news. We could see the odd heavy shower for the Channel Isles. Generally, it's dry, hot and sunny. It will be cooler on those North Sea coasts, and even if it's sunny here, temperatures only around average, but elsewhere, again, very warm. Again, we'll see that mist and low cloud coming back in through Thursday night, so a grey start to Friday. Possibility of some of that mist lingering, maybe a bit of drizzly rain at times even in the east. But most places staying dry and sunny through the weekends, but it will just turn a little cooler for most, although in Edinburgh temperatures may rise this weekend.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, but I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Yes, these are the scenes as England are currently 1-0 up against Argentina in the World Cup semi-final. 76 minutes on the clock. I do regret to inform you that in the last few minutes, Argentina have stepped it up a notch. Amazing save from Pickford just before this ridiculous hydration break that we have to do. And then also Argentina have just hit the post from a diving header from McAllister from a cross in. England are now sitting very, very deep. Anthony Gordon, the goal scorer, has been taken off, replaced by Konsa. A sign there, I think, that Tuchel has decided to settle in. A lot of people thinking, good grief, didn't Gareth Southgate do this? And it didn't quite get us over the line. Anyway, I appreciate you not watching this to watch the football, although in reality, you're probably not actually watching at all. But let's go now to an incredibly serious subject matter, of course. And Reform UK's Home Affairs spokesman, Zia Youssef, has pledged to provide round-the-clock security for every single MP. if his party wins the next general election. The proposal, expected to cost around £100 million, would provide protection for all 650 MPs, with security also extended to former politicians who remain active in public life, which, of course, Anne Widdecombe was. Now, it comes after counter-terrorism police yesterday confirmed that Reform UK immigration spokeswoman Anne Widdecombe was killed in what they described as a targeted attack.
Enough is enough. I do not want to see politicians, regardless of party, fearing for their lives for speaking their mind. I do not want to see the hounding of families, the publication of their homes. I do not want to see another politician killed in this country. I do not want to see what happened to Anne happen ever again. This has to stop.
Well, his speech came on the same day that the Met Police revealed that they have now arrested a man on suspicion of threatening to shoot specifically, actually, Nigel Farage. Joined now by the Head of Communications and External Affairs at the Adam Smith Institute, Joanna Marchong. Joanna, thank you very much. What do you think, then, about the idea of providing all MPs and people who are still in political life with round-the-clock security?
I think this is another thing that's great on paper and obviously would work out. But when you think about it in, the grand scheme of things, it looks completely different, right? The 650 MPs, how much does that cost? Also, fine, protection shouldn't come at the, kind of trade-off of cost. But also, you're thinking about how are we going to make this work? It's also the cost itself will be more than the entire Met Police budget. So you have to think about whether it's worthwhile, whether the 3 deaths in the last 10 years is justified, how those situations arose, and also are there other ways than round-the-clock security for all these MPs, when a lot of them, Anne Widdecombe included, she moved out to the suburbs so that she could live a life in peace. She didn't want that. So it's not something that we could see coming. It's a really unfortunate circumstance, but I think a universal approach is actually wrong at the end of the day. You can't tell when these things are coming. There are provisions that you can make that don't include round-the-clock security for all 650 MPs out there.
I suppose they could opt in or opt out. I mean, we're kind of just spitballing here, aren't we? But I suppose they could opt in or opt out if they wanted to. The only other thing I would say with this is that I think at the moment we have a huge problem with the calibre of person that we find in Parliament. And one of the things with that is the money, and I get £98,500 a year is a huge amount of money for a huge amount of people. I'm not knocking that, and you get expenses. But there are a lot of people as well who are perfectly capable of going and earning half a bar somewhere and don't need the physical threats and the invasion of your private life and that issue with your family. That sadly now comes with being in politics. And potentially it's an investment worth making. If they say that this is going to cost the taxpayer about 100 million quid a year, potentially that's worth it in order to get to make it more comfortable for a better calibre of person to go into politics.
Yeah, so loads of things to pick up on there. I think a lot of people, like voters, will think, well, actually, these people are under threat. I would happily pay X amount to protect the people that I think are speaking the right things for this country, doing a just cause. And that's completely fine. But also there's other factors. So, if it's opt-in, opt-out, this is an MP decision, and you never know when you're under threat. Also, why aren't we thinking about reasons why people are under threat? So, we have a highly political voter base right now. We've had high voter turnouts. We've had people more political than ever. We have 4 major parties, something that the UK has never seen, ever. It's a completely phenomenon that we just can't really predict or figure out what's happening. The idea of using Anne Widdecombe as a case study is interesting, and obviously we should do it, but also something that you can't actually put into science whatsoever. She was living in the suburbs. All the suspects and kind of things around it, obviously not confirmed, but we don't know. But obviously they've said certain things, like the guy wasn't mentally capable. He was also he had the mental age of a young person rather than an adult. about all this kind of stuff. So we honestly only know until those, and a lot of the people I've spoken to said that she wasn't. These things are a real tragedy, but also looking for a solution forward doesn't include a blanket kind of, whole party. This actually reminded me of the MPs that got, healthcare, universal healthcare for them. It's a completely different scenario. And I think we need to take it seriously in terms of figuring out a way forward rather than just put a universal blanket kind of exemption onto them.
Yes, and I mean, for me, I would be much more willing to accept the idea of MPs having full-time, round-the-clock security if they also enacted policies that made us all safe. And it does feed into exactly what I'm going to be spending all day tomorrow reporting on when I go to Crowborough to do a whole day and a whole evening show there from that army barracks that is now just literally just a dumping ground for illegal male asylum seekers who are allowed to wander around. That the public don't have, unfortunately, we don't have round-the-clock 24/7 protection. And, I am... It's hard, in a way, it's hard not to be in favour of the idea of, someone having 24-hour protection, because you don't want the worst thing possible to happen. But at the same time, I'm like, well, those politicians could maybe do a bit more to keep us all safe as well, couldn't they? But, Joanna, look, thank you. Oh, go on, yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, I was going to say the thing is you have loads of trade-offs. So obviously people don't want their politicians who are speaking something that they're speaking for the nation to be under threat. But also you have to remember a police officer used for their protection is also a police officer taken off the street. If you're saying the police protection of all MPs will be more than the Met Police budget, then that's something that you have to think about. And also, obviously, you want these people to be protected, obviously, but there's a best way to do it. And whether we can figure that out is the correct way forward, not just...
Again, we're drawing up policy on the hoof here, but I'm all for it. But, again, there are a lot of veterans out there who are still fit and able and, could maybe do with the work, right? And maybe there's something could be done there. But anyway, Joanna, thank you so much. Always tremendous to see you. Take care. It's Joanna Marchong there, who is the head of Communications and External Affairs for the Adam Smith Institute. Now, yes, I do need to remind you, I want to remind you, tomorrow. Oh, no, sorry, this is something else. This is even better. On the 6th of August, join me in Essex for Celebrate Britain. I'm going to be reporting live through the day, meeting viewers, hearing your stories and celebrating Britain together. There's going to be an opportunity to join me at our live event. So to find out more, to take part in the conversation, to apply for tickets for our event, scan that QR code now on your screen right there or go to gbnews.com/celebrate. And as you would imagine, I've been in various different planning meetings for what's going to be taking place on this day. And I do really mean it when I say this will be the best show we have ever done. And you really should try and get yourself a ticket if you can. Anyway, in other news, we will, of course, be talking about this.
Goodbye.
OK, well, goodbye and good riddance to Keir Starmer. I do regret to inform you that Argentina have just equalised. It's now 1-1, 85 minutes on the clock. England 1, Argentina 1. We're going to go live to Buenos Aires. And, I mean, you hate to see it, obviously. Absolutely hate to see it, but there you go. They are ecstatic in Buenos Aires there. Enzo Fernandez, let's go to Box Park. Yeah. Well, it's the polar opposite of what we saw in the 56th minute, isn't it? Let's be honest with you. And people making their views incredibly clear there, including that one man that we've decided to zoom in on, so that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, look, it was a relatively well-worked goal from a set-piece from Argentina there outside the box. A shot from distance, probably about 30-odd yards there, beats Pickford. We'll go to the break. When we come back, we will be going to Ben Leo and we'll be going around the country as well for what are now slightly more disappointed England fans. But come on, England, we've still got this.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
What do you think about where we're going to get our future athletes and our Olympians from when we're telling our children, oh, you can't go out and partake in sports today because it's a bit hot?
It's a bit hot, yeah. I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, you're absolutely right. And, not only
are we cancelling sports days in some schools? And you said, have to. No, they don't have to. This is the choice that the schools are making, and the heads are making. So my granddaughter's school, I've just done the school run this morning. They're not cancelling their sports day. They're just being sensible. Why not move it to the morning? I've just dropped her off now. It's 17 degrees. So they're perfectly capable of running at 9 o'clock in the morning instead of 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's lots of ways that they could think outside of the box and do this. I mean, Labour is just about to cut 22% from the sports budget as well.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Ticket prices. Yeah. I mean, it's bonkers. £1,400 going all the way up to £6 million. What's happened?
It's just crazy, isn't it? Absolutely unbelievable. I think obviously these tickets have got into the wrong hands. Official websites that they've been sold from, and now they're on the open market at these unbelievable prices.
Does it actually make a difference then to the players who you're playing in front of?
No, I think when you look at the experience that the players have had in the Azteca this week, the England players, all experienced players, but they're talking about what an amazing experience it was. You've got to say the atmospheres at most of the games have been absolutely incredible, and it will ramp up now as we go towards, obviously, the crucial finishing stage of this competition.
GB News, the People's Channel. Dubes & Co. Weekdays from 6 p.m.
Industrial action in the 70s, all of that is part of the culture of that great town, and it's something that reflects a lot about the rest of us.
Right, but the word culture does not...
It doesn't mean opera.
That's history.
Yeah.
That's the history of the town. How is this money spent? Whose money is it, right? I presume it's taxpayers' money, i.e. my money anyway, and if you pay tax, Susie, that will
I do pay a bit, Calvin.
Okay,
yeah. Not as much as you, I'm sure.
No, but how much do we spend on the City of Culture for Hull? Do you know?
Well, look, so these shortlisted towns, they will receive £60,000 each to develop their full bids. Apparently, it's about restoring pride in local areas. They want to deliver a decade of national renewal. They want to shine a light on local visions and voices, they say, from across the UK.
GB News, the People's Channel.
OK, welcome back. So, look, obviously a bit of a strange night to be doing a news show, but England are now drawing 1-1 with Argentina. It's the 89th minute in the World Cup semi-final. England scored in the 56th minute thanks to Anthony Gordon. Great goal, well-worked goal. But unfortunately, we did kind of sit off for quite a while, and the inevitable does appear to have happened. Argentina very much on the front foot for quite a while, came close, good save from Pickford. They hit the post, and then eventually they did have to score from outside the box. This is Box Park at the moment, a very different atmosphere than it was a few minutes ago, of course, but there is still hope. It's 1-1, 89th minute. The Argentinian fans are absolutely bouncing in this stadium, though, and it's going to be a big test of England's mental resolve and character. That is live from a similar type event, a Box Park type event in Manchester, where, again, the mood has got a little bit flat, but, the reason why is because it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? We've been here before. 9 minutes added time, everybody. 9 minutes added time. Let's go to Argentina. Regrettably, I hate to do this, but I imagine they are a bit happy. Yes, OK. Well, there you go. That's Buenos Aires this evening. And they feel as though very much they're on the ascendancy, don't they? Look, shortly we're going to go to Bev Turner, who is the GB News presenter, of course. You all know Bev, who's across the pond for us at Ben Leo as well. We can go to Bev now. Bev, where are you? What's going on?
Oh, mate, if you'd spoken to me a few minutes ago, it would be a very different atmosphere than it is right now. I've just left the pub. So I'm ever so sorry, Patrick, but I can't stay long. You're killing me here, guys, getting me out of that room. I've got my teenage daughters in there. It's full of Brits. We're having a great time. They said, come and talk to Patrick. I said, of course I will, because poor Patrick can't even watch the match. That was absolutely brilliant in there until just a few moments ago. We were sure we'd had it. We're like, OK, we're 1-0 down. Pickford is just a wall. Our defence is incredible. We had that brilliant little ankle tap in from Gordon. Absolutely brilliant. And then, of course, Argentina just look so determined, Patrick. They just look like there's so much at stake here. It's not just about football, is it, with Argentina?
Oh, gosh, OK. All right, Bev, look, I'm really sorry about this. Argentina have just hit the post again. And that is the live reaction from that there. Oh no, Argentina have gone up, 2-1 up, 2-1 up.
No!
90 minutes. Bev, I'll release you back in there. Let's go live to Buenos Aires.
Joking. Oh, right. Oh. No, listen. We've got to keep the hope. It is the hope that kills you. We cannot be beaten to Argentina. It's 91 minutes, 92 minutes. We got 10 minutes. Have faith in our boys that we can still do this. We've got 10 more minutes. These lads are amazing. It's going to be brutal if we go out at this stage. Absolutely brutal. For all of us, for the whole country. For all the kids who haven't really bought into a World Cup before. Like I say, my teenage girls who just said, why can't we have World Cups every year, Mummy? I'm like,
quickly.
Can't take it. Our blood pressure can't take it. This is traumatic. This is going to be horrible for Brits, for the English if we get beaten on this, Patrick. But I will be, hopefully, on Late Show Live in just over 2 hours. Otherwise, you're just going to have to stay there because I might be in a drunken stupor in a corner somewhere, drowning my sorrows. But all being well, I will be with you on Late Show Live in just over 2 hours, and we'll be going to Ben for all the reaction as well.
Thank you very much, Bev. I'm sorry to drag you away from there, but to be fair, you did just miss an Argentinian goal, which is not what you wanted to see anyway. But Bev Turner will be live for us again later this evening. Let's go to Ben Leo now, who's in a pub in Atlanta for us with a load of England fans. Ben.
Yeah, hi, Patrick. Don't know what to say, really. I just feel emotionally exhausted. We decided to shut up shop in the last 25, 30 minutes. We won the last. I don't know. We decided to go for it. We brought Big Dan Burn on the 6 of 8, Newcastle defender at the back. Tried to close the door and keep them out, but we've now shipped 2 goals in about 5 minutes. There's about 6 minutes of extra time left, injury time. I just feel emotionally exhausted. I think we need a miracle at this point. We need somebody to step up, otherwise that's our World Cup campaign over. Yeah, I just feel emotionally exhausted at the moment, Patrick.
It is just the hope that kills you, isn't it? It's every single time. But look, so there was 9 minutes of added time added on, and we have only just restarted the game since that Argentina goal. So I mean, if I had to guess here, I think we probably still have the best part of 9 minutes if the referee decides not to, cut things short. Really, England are,
He did so you can expect us to try and get this game over with as soon as possible. We've got about 5 minutes left, I think. England on the attack now. We've got
all right,
by Argentina. England still on the attack.
I'll release you there so you can watch the final moments properly. But yeah, England are at least now very much by Argentina's goal area. And look, there we go. It's 2-1 Argentina at the moment. It looks like it might be heartbreak. Looking at Ivan Toney and Marcus Rashford about to be brought on for England here with probably roughly about 4.5 minutes to go. And those are the scenes that you're looking at from Box Park now in London. And that fan zone was absolutely bouncing about 25 minutes ago. Not so much now. When we come back, we're going to be revisiting this. There's about 4 minutes left, like I said. Hopefully, the next time you see me, England will have equalised and we will be in extra time. Come on, England, we've got to keep the faith.
It's a great British giveaway Golden Summer Celebration. Your chance to win 2 fantastic prizes. There's an incredible £60,000 in tax-free cash. Plus, you'll also get your hands on a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win £60,000 in tax-free cash and a real gold bar, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pulled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
I've been in Westminster for a long time, But I know that though power may be here, its effect on people's lives is across the whole of the country. We may be where rules are made, but it's where they're implemented that matters. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for forthright and frank discussion on where Britain has come from, where it's going, and where it will end up. That's State of the Nation, Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun. No, he didn't say that, Dave. I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Welcome to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howard. This is the show where each week we see what's happening in the world of culture, current affairs and politics.
First we'll say, welcome to the UK. Oh, thank you.
And we're not afraid to use our free speech so that you can use yours.
It's not controversial in the slightest to anyone who hasn't lost their mind.
Free Speech Nation, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very, very easy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Well, it's 10 p.m. I'm Patrick Christys, and the breaking news tonight. It was all going so well. Those were scenes at Box Park when England went 1-0 up against Argentina in the 56th minute. However, that is footage now. Argentina 2, England 1. It's going incredibly scrappy. It was to begin with, but the Argentinians are just playing every single trick in the book here, throwing themselves on the floor, trying to start a fight, wasting even more time. We are now 99 minutes into a game. They added 9 minutes on. I imagine there's going to have to be a few more minutes added on. Can England pull it back round? Is there another twist in the tail here? We'll have to wait and see, of course. In other news...
Goodbye.
Well, that's pretty sickening stuff, to be honest with you. Arguably even worse than us losing to Argentina. But Starmer got a standing ovation today. For what? And the Oscar goes to...
I'll do this. Can I thank my right honourable and very dear friend...
Well, she wasn't the only one blubbing either. Not for the first time. Rachel Reeves had some sort of emotional breakdown in the House of Commons. On our panel this evening, we have got broadcaster Linda Jubilee. We've also got Reform councillor Jamie McIver and journalist Nina Mishkov. And it's a very bad day for virtue-signalling woke politicians.
Mágad Caharlic agus Majin Mai Privara, and it's unfortunate that we can't use our own language in this committee.
You can, yeah.
Pardon?
You can.
Ah, okay. Well, we didn't know. Sorry. So I'll continue in English, but because I wasn't prepared.
Well, OK, look, welcome along for those who are watching, which I imagine isn't that many of you, given that the semi-final is about to wrap up between England and Argentina. 100 minutes have been played. There was 9 minutes added on. Argentina are 2-1 up, 2 late goals, and the final whistle's about to go, I think, but in fact I thought it had just gone, but no, it has not. It all started pretty scrappy first half. We can see the side-by-side there on your screens right now of Buenos Aires on your left, and Box Park there on the right of the screen, certainly as I look at it anyway. And yeah, I mean, we're going to be taking you around stateside to Bev Turner, to Ben Leo, who are out there for us as well. And it's just an incredibly devastating scene, really, isn't it? Especially given that it was just the hope. It was all going so well for England, looking pretty composed at the back, looking pretty good on the ball in midfield, looking pretty good up top when we got it as well. Chances were few and far between. Anthony Gordon popped up, but then I'm afraid, and it brings me absolutely no joy to say this, of course, I'm like a miserable so-and-so, but we kind of did what we've always done. We sat back, we sat off, and with about 70 minutes on the clock, it all went very defensive for England, and it invited Argentina onto us, and they hit the post. There was a great save from Pickford, and then there was an inevitable thing. In fact, that's it now. I'm afraid to say the final whistle has gone. Lionel Messi's crying in the centre circle. He's got another World Cup final to play in. England are out of the World Cup, and the Argentinians are beside themselves with joy, as you'll be seeing on your screens right now. England sadly out 2-1, yeah, there you go. Fernandez scored in the 85th minute to level it up for Argentina. Martinez scored and later on, and that's that. Harry Kane looking pretty despondent. Well, I'm acutely aware that this show is possibly about to get clipped up on Argentinian television and played out tomorrow as we all look incredibly miserable, but there you go. We can have a look at the heartbreak at Box Park now, sadly. There you go. The crowds begin to filter out. Yeah, grief. It's just going to be another 2 years to the Euros, another 4 years till we go again. Look, one thing I will say is it's getting very spicy, by the way, on the actual football pitch, as the two teams are having to be separated because it looks like it's kicking off a bit. But you're seeing, just despondent scenes there from England football fans. Look, there is the clear, obvious disappointment. Another opportunity gone, and more disappointment and heartbreak for the country. As we, annoyingly now have to bask in the images of very happy Argentines. But what I will say is, when all is said and done, the England players gave it their absolute all right from the first kick of the ball in the first group game that they did. The lads have absolutely left nothing out there on the pitch, have they? Really, they've given everything, and we do have to say that they did do us proud. Unfortunately, couldn't get us over the line, but they did do us proud. So. Anyway, right, we're going to go to national reporter Sophie Reaper, who is at a fan zone in Manchester. Sophie, not the kind of report we were hoping that we were going to get this evening, but go on, what's it like where you are?
Well, Patrick, the fact that I can hear you, I think, just speaks volumes, doesn't it? If it had stayed 1-0, I would not have been able to hear a word you were saying, because the atmosphere in here was just absolutely unbelievable. I think up until about the 70th minute, every single person in this room had faith. Everyone believed that it could indeed have been coming home. And I have to say, you know what? I'm more than just a reporter today. I'm going to try and not get upset. I'm an England fan, and I really do care about this. And I'm absolutely heartbroken. I think we really did think it was coming home. We really did have the faith, and it's all just come crashing down around us. The look of disappointment is on every single face in here. 10,000 fans in here in Manchester, and the look of disappointment, there you go. Sir, do you mind if I just ask you, how are you feeling? I know we saw you dancing on the stage earlier. You were embodying that atmosphere. How are you feeling now?
I'm going to have to get my tattoo, but only joking on it.
Oh dear, you can't see that, Patrick, but he's got on his leg, England World Cup winner 2026. So that's going to need lasering, isn't it?
No, I'm not going to laser it, I'm just going to put only joking.
There we go. Now, are you feeling gutted? Watch the language, watch the language. How are you feeling? Gutted? Heartbroken?
Obviously gutted, like, it's once every 4 years, like, but is what it is. We lost, got one goal in it, but this wasn't it for us.
Did you really believe this time? Did you really believe it was coming home?
To be honest, after Mexico, I thought like there was a good chance, but
stop the balls.
At end of the day, like I thought like there was.
I actually thought we was going from third.
I thought I was going to win, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, we lost. We lose some, but we'll just come back again. Like, got Euros in 2 years, I think we'll bounce back.
I was going to ask you then, obviously it's a loss tonight, but are you proud of our lads, of how far they've come?
Obviously I'm proud of our lads, like, I've never seen anything like it, like Mexico at the home ground. they haven't lost, like, but...
Sat back too early.
I think they got the goal and they thought... personally, I thought they got the goal and they thought they were in it, but it is what it is. We lost the game, but we'll bounce back again. Hopefully we'll bounce back again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Patrick, it really is just devastating, isn't it? You know, football's one of them things that when you win, you're on top of the world. It's the best feeling ever. But with those wins comes those losses, which are just devastating and really hard to take. And I think in here in Manchester and around England tonight, it's just going to be a really hard pill to swallow. But as that young lad was just saying there, we'll come back even stronger. The Euros in 2 years' time, another World Cup. One of these days, it will come home, and it will just taste even sweeter when that victory does finally come.
Sophie, well done, very, very well done there. Not just with the emotion of it all, but you know, controlling that situation as well. It's never easy. Bless you, never easy at all when you're there with so many people who are in such an emotional state, and the beer's been flowing as well. But a couple of great interviews there. That bloke, though, good grief, the one with the England World Cup winners 2026. I think
it's a big tattoo. It's not just like a little tiny thing on the wrist.
I think I heard it's quite difficult to understand him, but I think he said he was going to have to get the words "only joking" written underneath it. Well, he is. That is quite an iconic image, that, isn't it? Someone dressed as St. George there, just standing alone, I think, at Box Park with a load of empty beer. Oh my God! Beer cups and I think of football there, which is. That's where we are, unfortunately. And again, it is just, I hate to be the one to say this, but we're all thinking it, aren't we? You know, every single time it gets so close. And then just this seems like the inevitable happened, and we sat back. We're gonna stick on various images here now, but let's go to Harry Harris, who is the football journalist. Harry, your actual assessment of that game, I mean, there was I mean, I don't mind admitting, I obviously had it on here in the studio, right, as I was doing the show, so I think it was pretty obvious. But there was a gentleman there who gave an assessment that I kind of agree with, actually, which I've just felt we sat back too early. Harry, your views?
Well, I think realism has come home. Argentina were the better team. Tactically, Thomas Tuchel had got... it worked for him by going defensively in the last 10 minutes previously. It didn't work against such a formidable opponent. And yes, we really needed that second goal. We really needed to go for Argentina rather than sit back and be pressed back. But I think the expectation, the volume of opinions that England would make this game so easy and easily go through to the final was just too much for this team. You know, they'd only had a couple of players that performed previously, and they didn't perform in this game. One or two others did perform. It was a sterling England performance, and they were only 10 minutes away from victory. But Argentina were the better team. They're the champions, and as I've been saying all along, this was the acid test. If you get over this, fine, you could be champions, but they came close. But again,
can I just say, Harry, sorry to cut you off, you probably won't be able to see this, but, you know, there's signs there with Las Malvinas on as we look at Buenos Aires there. Obviously, Gary Lineker will be beside himself with joy looking at those kind of things. But it is more than a football match, and this is, again, you know, what the Argentinians were, you know, it was the opposite of that Faulty Towers thing, don't mention the war, wasn't it? I mean, before it, their politicians and everyone, it was all they could blooming well talk about, and clearly that is incredibly raw for them, probably because we spanked them and sent them packing. But, you know, it is even more gutting, to be honest with you, Harry, isn't it, to lose to the Argentinians and to see them now, you know, celebrating in that way. I don't know how you feel about it, but for me, you know, you can't really disassociate yourself from it's more than just a football game, I think, this.
Well, no, you can't. I saw this in '86. It was 4 years after the Falklands, but it meant so much to the Argentinians in '86, far more than it did to the English players in those political terms. And again, it happened this time. You know, they needed it more than the England team in those political terms. It was an extra factor that they had, that they could not lose this game. And that was a mighty incentive for that team. You know, but still, it still was a football match rather than anything else. and Argentina were the better team. There's no denying it.
Well, what do you make, Harry? I mean, I think it was Rashford and Ivan Toney who were thrown on quite late in the game there. And a lot was made of Tuchel's actual squad selection, which, of course, when you're winning and when you're progressing, you know, makes him look like a genius. But the fact is we have lost now and we are out. And I just wonder whether or not the likes of Foden or Cole Palmer might have been slightly more inspiring substitutes to have. No disrespect to Marcus Rashford. I say that as a Manchester United fan and, you know, and I like the guy. But I just wonder in these moments, was he right? You know, bringing on Dan Burn at the back to shore things up. He left Harry Maguire at home. Bringing on Rashford and Ivan Toney, leaving Cole Palmer and Phil Foden at home. Has it come back to bite him here a bit, do you think?
Well, I've seen England through 5 World Cups, and it's the same every single time. There's no grey areas. It's always black and white. You win and it's fantastic. You lose and the manager's terrible. So or sack him even. But of course that's not the case. You know, there is grey areas, and there was a lot of grey areas here. You know, tactically, it worked previously. It could have worked this time. It didn't. But it wasn't those last 10 minutes. It was trying to get the initiative when they'd actually taken the lead. They needed to go for it again and get that second goal. And, you know, but they were playing against an opponent that pushed them back. You know, it was never easy. Messi had some spells once England took the lead where he was unstoppable again. But for most of the match, England looked to have subdued him. But he came alive once England had scored. And that's the mark of the greatest player of all time, potentially. There's 2 or 3 other candidates, of course, but he's making this case now to be the greatest player that ever lived.
No, indeed. Harry, thank you very much. I wish we were talking about the polar opposite result, as I'm sure you do as well, but it is a pleasure to have you and have your words of footballing wisdom there. It's Harry Harris there, football journalist. Let's cross live now to an emotionally shattered Ben Leo, who's our chief US correspondent, who was watching the game for us from a bar in Atlanta, just near the stadium. Ben's out on the prowl now, I believe. Go on, Ben. OK. Well, what's the mood like where you are? Where are you off to here now?
It's just kicking off a little bit down here. I don't know who's doing what, but there's a massive. This is kind of like the Atlanta version of Wembley Way, which leads up to the stadium. We saw a massive skirmish between some people. Let me just excuse this. See if I can have a look. Yeah, I think it just looks like fisticuffs at the moment. There's loads of England and Argentina fans. There's a security guard with a high-vis pushing. Yeah, it's a lot of pushing and shoving. I don't want it to happen, unfortunately, but I think this is what we'll probably expect for the rest of the night, especially as we saw last night with Argentina fans goading England a lot. We were in the England pub last night and they came along and one of them smacked an England fan we were with. Another RG stole a Leeds flag. So yeah, there are some skirmishes now outside the stadium. There's security guards pushing each other.
Don't do that. You made the England fans some shit. It's the Argentine.
You haven't even heard what I'm saying. You haven't even heard what I'm saying.
All right, well, emotions are obviously running high. I mean, to be fair on Ben, he was not making the England fans look bad at all there, at all. In fact, he was saying literally the polar opposite. So they've obviously misheard what he's had to say there. I mean, he definitely. I mean, they are. I do, by the way, those England fans that said that. I completely understand why they would think that, because time and time again, media outlets do try to paint the England fans in a negative light. And as you heard the England fans say there, it's not us, it's Argentinians, and that was what Ben was actually saying. Before that as well, so I'm sure if that lad, just watch it back, he'll realise that he wasn't right about that. But we're off Buenos Aires now, but we're going to go live back again now to Ben Leo. It is a tense atmosphere, of course, outside the stadium in Atlanta. But Ben, well done for us. You carry on, please, mate.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's as I was explaining, it's the RG's one England lad there accusing me of, I don't know, trying to throw England fans under the bus. I mean, I told him to watch the clip back, but that's reflective of the mood, unfortunately, Patrick. Lots of very gutted people. We were 1-0 up until about 30 minutes to go. Thomas Tuchel shut up shop, brought on loads of defenders. Was that the right decision? As I heard you talking about, should he brought Cole Palmer, Phil Foden? It kind of doesn't matter anymore, because a few hours ago everybody was praising Thomas Tuchel for being a great manager and having got us so far. So I think it's kind of pointless to have that kind of discussion. But yeah, it's just you can see all the England fans here, they're gutted. I'm not going to try and talk to any, because it's just You know, what are they going to say? They're going to say they're gutted. But there is a third place playoff in Miami. I think it's on Friday or Saturday. Not that anyone really cares about it. Nobody cares who finishes runner-up or third place. But England will be competing in that game in Miami against France. But yeah. Don't know what to say, Patrick. Just gutting, but I have to say, you know, these players have given a great World Cup adventure to the travelling Three Lions fans here, the GBNews included. It's been a great 5 or 6 weeks. 5 or 6 weeks, and props to the players. They played like lions today. Who can forget the Azteca as well? That game against Mexico, full of grit and determination. I don't think anyone should be throwing them under the bus this evening. It was possibly down to a tactical decision with Thomas Tuchel. Again, not going to blame him. He's got us this far so far, so is what it is. Well done to the RGs. I hope Spain do them in the final. And yeah, England fans will be heading back to... you want to have a chat? Hi, mate. How you feeling?
Oh, disappointed. Threw it away with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, we almost got there, didn't we?
Gutted, absolutely gutted. But
what was it like in the stadium?
It was, what's the word? Scary. It's actually scary.
So nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
Even in England then, there was just Argentinians everywhere. It was loud.
Everyone well behaved?
Not really, no.
Yeah. What's your plan now then? Are you going back to the UK?
I'm going to go back. Well, I'm going to go to New York tomorrow, get some food, get myself home then. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
Well done. It's been a great World Cup, hasn't it? It's been good fun,
mate.
Great adventure. Take care, mate. There we go, Patrick. Don't know what to say. Just gutted, disappointed, but props to Thomas Tuchel, the England boys, and all the fans who have followed the squad around so valiantly and loyally. We started in Dallas. We then went to, where did we go? Boston. Then to New York, Atlanta, Mexico, Miami, then back to Atlanta. It's been a hell of an adventure. It didn't end the way we wanted, but I think we can be proud of this squad. And yeah, it's showed the best of England, I think. England fans have been so well behaved during this tournament. There's only been single-digit arrests for silly things like weeing in the street and so on, and it's just been great away from the UK. For me personally, I'll speak, being away from the UK, away from the day-to-day of politics and all the kind of ups and downs of that, to have a bit of unity and patriotism. So yeah, anyway, Patrick, back to you.
No, look, Ben, thank you very much, and well handled with all of that as well. And I do hope you stay safe as well, because there's obviously a bit of tension in the air, isn't there? But you would expect that, wouldn't you? And an interesting decision by FIFA as well. I get that this is quite common at World Cups, but especially when it comes to England and Argentina, not to segregate fans in the stadium. And again, I'm absolutely not blaming the England fans here. In fact, I'll do the exact opposite. The way that the Argentinian fans were behaving, some of them, before the game, the way their politicians, some of them, were behaving before the game as well, kind of whipping it up into an absolute Falklands-based frenzy. You know, they're asking for trouble, aren't they, really? They're asking for trouble. So I do hope that the England fans stay safe. I hope Benleo stays safe. Just a quick apology if you heard any bad language there. I know it's after the watershed, and I think most people watching will understand the kind of setting that we were in there. But nonetheless, an apology for that. Just very quickly before we move on. Look, it's just gutsy. I mean, you've got your England shirt on there before we go to Linda.
Well,
yeah.
do you know, I was just going to say, at the start of that game, the Falkland Islands were British. And at the end of that game, the Falkland Islands are British. And more importantly, I would rather wear the England kit with the English flag on than have to walk a day as an Argentinian. So I'm
right.
That's my view. And thank you to the boys for what they did.
Yeah. Go on, Linda.
Well said, by the way. But also, I think Harris made a very important point when he said how much the match meant to the Argentinian team, because I was listening to Thomas Tuchel saying, you know, it's just a football match, it's just a football match. And as he said it, I thought, yeah, but it isn't to the Argentinian team.
Yes.
And that will galvanise them. It will put fuel in their tanks and it will make the difference.
You could see it in the national anthems, actually. Again, not having a go at in the same way that some England teams in the past have been criticised for not singing the national anthem or anything like that. But like the Argentinians just... It was like they were about to go to war, actually. Yeah. Which, of course, if they had, we'd have beaten them. But anyway.
I know why Thomas Tuchel was doing it. He's trying to depressurise the situation.
Yeah.
But facts are facts. If the other team think...
But, Nina, we've been here before.
I'm very sad for everybody. I really am. But it doesn't touch me the way it touches you, because football's not my thing. And also, I'm not English.
Right.
So that's a different thing entirely. But and I've seen it from watching that. The only match I ever watched was 1966 on the telly.
Well, good one to go out on. You peaked.
Exactly.
You absolutely
exactly.
Not stop talking about it.
Well, Harry's talking about 86. That's 40 years ago. For God's sake! And I watch you all every time go through this torture.
Wow.
And my heart bleeds for you.
Well, we'll do it all again. We'll do it all again, and we'll keep doing it. OK, so right, look, we are going to take a little break now, and we come back. We'll dip back in stateside to what's going on over there and some of the reaction from England's loss against Argentina in the World Cup semi-final. And we're also going to be talking about some actual other news that's happened. Keir Starmer got a standing ovation in the House of Commons today, which is just absolutely sickening as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, we'll talk about that.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you.
Bulletins on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way. You will not want to miss it, trust me.
The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Here at GB News, we made a promise to tell your stories. And on the 6th of August, we're marking 5 years of doing exactly that.
Celebrate with us by having your say. Join in the debates live on TV and radio.
And meeting your favourite presenters across the country, from Leeds to Aberdeen, from Belfast to Barry Island.
Plus, join me in Essex for our biggest live show of the year. Scan the QR code or visit gbnews.com/celebrate. Terms and conditions apply. As soon as it hits 11 and the headlines come in,
The Late Edition brings you the breaking news from all the front pages.
because the news is going to happen.
So get a head start today.
Patrick Christys tonight, late edition.
Alex Armstrong tonight, Late Edition. From 11 o'clock every night.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start. No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Do you trust what you're being told? Good, because neither do I.
Those are just facts.
I'm Alex Armstrong, and on my show, we'll expose the spin.
Well, I want to answer that because you didn't let me last time, because you always speak over me.
The broken promises.
To deny that is denying the truth.
And the hypocrisy.
Stop.
You think we can allow?
Politics, policy, parliament. Nothing is off limits. No sugarcoating, no fear of offence, just the truth laid bare. Tune in every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. for Alex Armstrong Tonight, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
OK, all right, well, look, obviously the big story, sadly, is that England are now out of the World Cup. They lost 2-1 to Argentina in the semi-finals. I'm sure you're all aware by now. We are going to try to go back stateside to you at some point very shortly as fans are leaving the stadium. I do have to tell you that the atmosphere is pretty tense, to say the very, very least. And I regret to show you this, but it is news, I suppose, with the final whistle being blown from the point of view of the people of Buenos Aires. Yeah, it's absolutely devastating for England, of course, and you know, just as well the manner of it. I think, you know, 2 goals in the last 10 minutes of normal time-ish by Argentina. There, it's just a hope, isn't it, that you happen every single time. Well done, though, to England and the lads. They gave it their all. They really did. And we're going to take you now to live pictures again in Buenos Aires, where they'll be partying into the night. And not just because they're in a World Cup final as fireworks start going off there. It's because they've beaten England. That's it as well. It's because they have beaten England, and you know, that obviously means so much to them, given the context of the Falkland Islands, or as Gary Lineker calls it, Las Malvinas. And there we are. So here we go again. I think we can take you maybe to what remains of Box Park. Now, this is earlier, as you got a bloke there, of course, dressed as you know, St George himself, surrounded by litter, and just mourning, really, I suppose, just mourning. And there we are. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, I know it's not a particularly nice thing to talk about, but you know, it's just another bit of blow. I mean, I was already, when that goal went in from Anthony Gordon on 56 minutes, I was already thinking, right, okay, where am I watching the World Cup final? I'm not going to be presenting on Sunday night. We get to watch it. It might actually be coming home. I was already thinking about the bank holiday. I was thinking about the open bus top parade. I was thinking about Sir Harry Kane and all of that. And then, you know, it's just dashed, isn't it? Like that again, with the blink of an eye, Linda.
Yeah, I know. It's so sad. But, you know, when we were listening earlier to Harry Harrison, he said at the end of the day, the Argentinians were better on the day. They were a better team. That's no disgrace for England. It's just that they played harder.
The thing for me that really stood out, though, was that we brought Thomas Tuchel in to get us over the line. That was the big thing. You brought him in, he's the winner, he's the champion, he's the one who's going to get you over the line. And then when we went 1-0 up, very, very quickly, we started reverting to type and we sat back. Gordon came off. I don't know if he was injured. I don't think he was injured. He came off, that's an attacking wing threat gone, and then you're bringing on defenders, and it just thought that it was too long. It was too long. You know, it was one of the very things that Gareth Southgate was criticised for all those times. All right, Gareth Southgate was also criticised for not making any changes, but the ones Tuchel did make, really, until we were 2-1 down, were defensive. And you invite the Argentinians onto you, and this is what happens. And I'm so conflicted about this, because anyone, you know, France got booted out in the semi-final. They were the favourites. Germany went out early. You know, other teams have gone out early, but you just think like, oh gosh, you know, what's been the progression here, really, under Thomas Tuchel? You know, is it premature? Possibly is, to be talking about whether or not he could carry on. I don't know. Have you got any views on this, Jamie?
Jamie's having trouble.
To be honest, I'm struggling to speak.
dear.
Ask Nina for her opinion.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm the one who knows least about football.
The in-house expert.
No, I mean, the last time, as I say, I watched football was 1966, and at that time, you stuck with the team that was on. If somebody was injured, there were no substitutes, and to me, that was a better game.
God.
If you think, you know, why would you bring substitutes on? Because you can bring the wrong substitute on, which you're implying might have happened. You have your team, and and actually, if you have just the number of, is it 11? 50? No, I don't know. I'm sorry.
We're going to draw a line under that.
No, seriously.
Thank you very much. Nina Mishkov, sporting guru.
No, seriously. If there are, it's 11 of you, right? Is it 11 or is it?
Yes.
If there are 11 of you, OK, you bond as a team, but if there's some who come in and go out,
right,
OK?
Well, that's one way of looking at it, I suppose. But, I mean...
So, psychologically, that works.
There's an infamous, this tweet, oh, my gosh, Piers Morgan did a post. This has been a Tuchel tactical masterclass. Take us home, Thomas. Posted 57 minutes ago, and you just know... that's going to come back to bite him, don't you, really, unfortunately. You know, you've got there Rob Rinder, who I also, to be fair, don't think is a sporting guru. Substitutions could amount to professional negligence. I'd know where to start. You know, there we are. OK, all right, look, when we come back, we're going to move ourselves on, I think, from this crushing disappointment of the England semi-final loss against Argentina. Instead, we're going to be saying goodbye and good riddance to Keir Starmer, who got a standing ovation today in the House of Commons, the man who least deserves a standing ovation in British political history. There we go.
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations forecast.
A gusty breeze expected for the Greek islands, meanwhile widely dry and sunny across much of Europe and feeling less hot finally, for Western Europe, I think it's also breezy for the Canary Islands, but mostly dry here. Spain and Portugal still hot in the east, but less hot compared with how it has been. And for France, we're no longer into the high 30s, drifting back to the mid-30s, but it's heating up for Italy, and it's staying breezy through the week for Greece.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Evening. Yes, it is time for your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. Cloud will spill back in overnight, making for a bit of a dull start for some tomorrow, but it'll be another sunny day by and large, another warm one as well. A little cooler on some eastern coast thanks to high pressure and the breeze coming in from the North Sea. Low pressure to the southwest has been generating some heavy showers over northern France and the Channel Isles. We've actually seen one or two across the southwest of England also, but most have stayed dry and most will continue to stay dry overnight. There's that cloud spilling back in over eastern England and the Midlands, making for a drab start tomorrow morning. Quite a cool night, certainly across the north, and rural spots will be down to single figures, staying quite warm and humid in the southwest, but comparatively, compared to the rest of summer, a reasonably comfortable night. Will be a bit of a grey start to Thursday, though, over the Midlands, parts of East Wales, even starting with the mist and low cloud. Should see quite a bit of sunshine along the south coast, the west coast of Wales. A cracking start to the day for Northern Ireland, northwest England and western Scotland. Again, along these North Sea coasts there will be fret or har, and that could linger. It'll be quite patchy in nature and it may tend to drift offshore at times, but some of those eastern coasts will stay a little misty, and as a result on the cool side. Again, there is the chance of seeing some thundery showers coming up from France, perhaps affecting southwest of England, but I think it's going to be very hit and miss. Most places won't see any rain, so if you're after rain, it's not good news. We could see the odd heavy shower for the Channel Isles. Generally, it's dry, hot and sunny. It will be cooler on those North Sea coasts, and even if it's sunny here, temperatures only around average, but elsewhere, again, very warm. Again, we'll see that mist and low cloud coming back in through Thursday night, so a grey start to Friday. Possibility of some of that mist lingering, maybe a bit of drizzly rain at times even in the east. But most places staying dry and sunny through the weekends, but it will just turn a little cooler for most, although in Edinburgh temperatures may rise this weekend.
From cold mornings
to warm family brunches,
from football to tennis, in the car,
in the kitchen,
GB News Breakfast is there. With the stories you need and the conversations that matter.
Anyway, let's talk business.
Well, it has been a historic night in British politics.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
We're here again.
to start your day just right. GB News Breakfast.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
OK, welcome back to Patrick Christys Tonight. Let me give you a little snapshot of tomorrow's newspaper front pages as well. I think I can show you the Guardian's front page. They have we've got the picture story, obviously, of over and out with the disappointed England fans. Farage told backers, I need $1 million a year to stand as an MP as well. They've got that story there. So, yeah, the picture is the disappointed England fans. I know a couple of other national newspapers have also splashed on it. The Metro, for example, they've gone, well, they've not actually, they've gone for teen hackers pose £56 billion threat to the UK. We could bring up the iPaper for tomorrow as well. They've gone for the big picture story there. Last roar, England fall just short, and some of the England players there head in hand, one of them about to slump to the floor. I think it might be Elliot Anderson. And yeah, I mean that's what we've got for the front pages so far. Most of the nationals will be holding off until the result of that England game, so we'll get more to you as and when they come in. Yes, we'll bring that over to you shortly. We're going to go to our national reporter, GB News national reporter Sophie Reaper, who's been at a fan zone in Manchester for us. Absolutely gutting, though, that England are now out of this World Cup. Lost 2-1 to Argentina. I was actually this section going to talk about another big news story of the day, and I think bearing in mind that we don't seem to be able to get a hold of a couple of the reporters stateside, we might do it in a second. But it was, of course, Keir Starmer getting that standing ovation in the House of Commons earlier on. We can go to Sophie Reaper, who was at a fan zone in Manchester. Sophie, thank you very, very much for coming back up for us again. I'm hoping that we might be able to go to you now just to see if... I imagine it's quite a sombre atmosphere there as people are filtering out.
Yeah, absolutely, Patrick. I mean, after we spoke to you, I think we were in there for about 4 minutes, and then there was a mass exodus because, of course, there's nothing to celebrate now. England are officially out of the World Cup after that defeat to Argentina. The mood in there was, from when we were live in Martin Daubney's show around 5 o'clock this evening till about the 70th minute was absolutely unbelievable, absolutely electric. There was a real sense of belief, especially when that goal from Anthony Gordon went in. There was that real sense. There were singing, of course, the classic "It's Coming Home." It was really quite a special thing to be part of. And then it's all come tumbling down around us, and no one really wanted to hang around. We ourselves have left. You can see Manchester Piccadilly station behind us. The platforms are absolutely full to the brim with people just desperate to get home. Taxi ranks absolutely full to the brim. Everyone just wanting to get home and to let this night be over, really, because it's just a thoroughly heartbroken atmosphere now. Everyone's absolutely devastated, and rightly so. I think we all let ourselves believe, didn't we, Patrick, as we always do as England fans. We always back our boys all the way, only to be disappointed. So there we go. It officially is not coming home.
Well, Sophie, thank you very much, and obviously not the kind of report that you were hoping to give, but, well done nonetheless, and thank you for everything you've done covering the World Cup for us under, at times, quite challenging circumstances, it must be said. Sophie Reaper there, our national reporter. Just to say that the Argentinian football team have unfurled a banner on the pitch saying Las Malvinas son Argentine, which is obviously, the Falklands are Argentinian, so their players are unfurling that on the pitch. And Thomas Tuchel, of course, people might criticise me for saying this. OK, he's German, right? And he might have just been saying things like it's just a football match to try and tone it down. Fair enough, that's the psychology of it. But I do wonder if he did really get it, because you are, regardless of what your views are, you are playing a team that have viciously politicised this particular game of football, and that is going to give them an edge. As we've seen, they've unfurled a banner on the football pitch saying the Falklands are Argentinian.
He probably was trying to depressurise the situation, but I just think that is unrealistic. And I think there comes a point where you have to stop doing that and you have to start realising what the situation really is, because if at the end of the day you want victory, you have to understand that this wasn't just sport. And I don't think he did understand that.
What do you reckon?
I think it went too defensive too quick. I think taking Gordon off was a mistake, and I think that clearly the hunger, that you could feel the hunger from the Argentines. But what I will say, and I said it a minute ago, is that all these Argentinians that are currently watching this news channel trying to get a clip of us, all I will say is the Falkland Islands were British at the start of the match, they're British at the end of the match, and I'd rather wear this kit than their kit.
Well, yes. I mean, I think we can show you the picture, actually, of... So there you go. So that was in the stands. And what happened was the Argentinian players then went over, got hold of it, and started displaying it themselves on the pitch. I actually think there is a political point to not just to that, by the way, but generally, because we're about to have an Andy Burnham premiership here, and the absolute dream scenario for Andy Burnham, coming after a couple of years of utter dross from Keir Starmer, would be to come to power and for England to immediately win the World Cup and to have he's going to get a bit of a Burnham bounce anyway, and then it would be England winning the World Cup. If he called a general election the next day, a snap election, he'd probably be a bit of a shoo-in for it, just because of the way that works. But he's been robbed of this now, hasn't he?
And so has Keir Starmer. I mean, the thing is
going to go to the final,
because he was going to go to the final, and then fly home in a private plane, and then a couple of hours later go to the palace and resign, as it were, to Charles. I mean, that's how much of a fan he was, and he's been, like the rest of his thing, it's ended in disappointment for him. So I feel sorry for him. And you keep rabbiting on about, how, he shouldn't have had a standing ovation. I completely disagree with you. I really do.
Why?
Because he's a decent, honest man of integrity. His exit
the
in the
most
last...
deceitful Prime Minister ever had.
Not deceitful. Not deceitful.
What, incompetent?
Give me an example of deceitful.
Jury trials, open borders.
That's not deceitful. That's not...
Mandelson appointment.
No, OK, Mandelson appointment.
Tax, saying that he wouldn't be hiking a load of taxes.
Was a huge error. That was bizarrely, the only political judgment he made, and it was misjudged, because if it had worked out, it would have been brilliant. Right. Set a thief to catch a thief.
OK.
Right. But, you talked about open borders. Boat people are down by 42%.
Yes, but we unfortunately have the highest asylum seeker backlog that we've ever had, though, which is still a big problem, of course.
But you've got to give him credit. It's down 42%.
All right, well, it'd be nice if we also deported more of them, though. But yeah, OK.
I agree.
OK, look, when we come back, we are going to have Ben Leah, who is over there for us. He's been outside the ground for us. He's going to be giving you a bit more reaction, and we're also going to have the Daily Telegraph's front page, some more front pages as well. England's World Cup dream over, and a picture there of Jude Bellingham just embracing someone. Right, OK, yeah, we'll be back in just a sec.
GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
Studded event at Madison Square Garden last night. We believe for about 100 guests. Could that have been a rehearsal dinner?
1,000 guests, even.
Well, no, that's today. 1,000 guests today.
Oh, is it?
Yes, for a much larger event. So could last night have been the rehearsal dinner? Could today be the wedding? That's what everyone's speculating. New York is said to be buzzing. This is America's royal wedding. Let's talk to showbiz journalist Ed Gleave, who joins us now. Morning to you, Ed. What's it like over there stateside? Is it being dubbed this royal wedding?
Yeah, I think for America, that's exactly what it is. And I think added to it is the fact that no one really knows for sure what's happening. I think the sort of speculation is kind of adding to the excitement for fans.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
They don't like Trump, Trump doesn't like them, and they're sort of outdoing him on the 4th of July.
I don't know whether that would have come into their thinking, but I mean, it certainly does, or the evidence is there to suggest so. She has been a vocal Trump critic, and a lot of the people that attended on the guest list aren't exactly, the biggest Trump fans. I'll read out a few names for you now. We've got Bradley Cooper, Greg James, Zoe Kravitz, Ed Sheeran, Ellie Goulding, Hugh Grant, Graham Norton, Ethan Hawke, Jason Sudeikis, Jimmy Fallon, who we know isn't a very big Trump fan, Jessica Chastain, Dakota Johnson, Camila Cabello. These names may not mean a lot to some people, but trust me, they are, at the moment, very popular.
GB News, the People's Channel. GB News Breakfast, every day from 6 a.m.
The Duchess of Sussex, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet are not going to come to London with Prince Harry tomorrow, despite earlier suggestions that they would join him.
A change of plans apparently causing frustration, with sources claiming senior royals are tired of what they describe as the will they, won't they approach.
Yeah, I think we all are, aren't we? It's still unclear, apparently, whether Meghan and the children will join Harry for the rest of his visit, which is a bit later on in the week. But they're certainly not coming, as so many reporters predicted.
With all the security issues, I mean, the thing is, it's not saying that he doesn't get the security. It's on a case-by-case basis. So it's completely possible that he would get the royal protection that he wants while he's here. It's just not an automatic guarantee, and that's what the fight's about.
GB News, the People's Channel.
OK, welcome back to Patrick Christys. Now I'm going to whiz you through some more of tomorrow's newspaper front pages, which are just flying in now. The Sun, they go for Wonder Ball, for our radio listeners, ball there being spelled B-A-W-L. It's a bit of a play on the fact that Wonderwall, the song, was the kind of anthem here for this particular World Cup. It's 60 years of her as brave lions sunk by late RG goals. The Daily Star, caned by Messi. Picture of Harry Kane and Messi there, as you'd expect. Telegraph, England's World Cup dream over. So, there it is. I'm sorry that we're having this kind of night, everyone, but it is the story, I'm afraid, England out of the World Cup. And we can now go back to GB News' chief US correspondent, Ben Leo, who is in Atlanta for us. And, Ben, I understand that it was a pretty nasty atmosphere, actually, outside the stadium for a little while. Do you want to talk us through what's been going on, please?
Sorry, there's bugs flying everywhere. Yeah, I think it was just a bit of fisticuffs. I don't know what was going on. It seems quite calm now. I don't know if we can pan Ben down. We've taken to the rooftop so we get a decent bird's eye view. Everybody seems well behaved. All the Argentina fans walking past this England pub we've been at, the Hudson Grill. England supporters drowning their sorrows. It seems fine. I mean, the one bit of controversy post-game is the celebrations from the Argentina players in the stadium. I'm not sure if you've seen the pictures yet, but they held up a banner saying that the Falklands, or as they call it, the Malvinas, are Argentinian. They held that banner on the pitch. Maybe we can get a picture for you shortly. I mean, they're vile, aren't they, really? They had a war in 1982. They tried to invade. The picture's on screen now, you can see it. They tried it on in 1982. They failed. There was a referendum some years ago, and everybody on those islands, apart from I think it was 2 or 3, said they want to stay part of Britain. So, you know, they're not Argentinian. They never have been. Argentine people have never been on those islands. So, yeah, I mean, if that's how they want to celebrate winning a World Cup semi-final, that's up to them. But it makes them look very small, small-minded, petty people. You know, kind of like an inferior football team who just has a chip on their shoulder. Celebrate the game. I don't know. They can do what they want. But that's Argentina for you. That's Argentine fans. They've done it decade after decade. Well, Argentine players in this case. Javier Milei, the president's been banging on about it for months on end. The foreign minister's been talking about the Falklands as well. The Argentine players have been singing Falkland songs in their dressing room. They've had... so I'm just looking at some action going on down there. They've... they're an inferior country whose currency is in the gutter, and if that's the one thing they want to focus on after winning a World Cup semi in a tightly fought contest, just says more about them than us. But the Falklands will never be Argentinian. They can try it on again if they want, and we'll see what happens.
And just on a slightly different note, Ben, I mean, you know, the World Cup, you know, for you out there, you were following this England team around, you know, pretty much everywhere they went. What was that like for you? Because you were in amongst it with the England fans, you were getting stuck in, and you must have had some tremendous memories. I know it's gutting now, but you must have had some absolutely tremendous memories from this World Cup.
Yeah, it's been really special. I speak on behalf of me and Ben, the cameraman. We've been travelling together for the last 6 weeks or so. It's just been incredible. It's been actually one of the most memorable, most enjoyable times of my life. And I know people watching this who maybe don't enjoy sport as much as I do, maybe can't comprehend that, but it has. It's been amazing. And I was never really... I liked international football before, but I was always club before country. I was always Arsenal ahead of England. But just being out here following the fans around, you meet people at the first venue in Dallas, then you go on to, say, New York, Atlanta, Miami, Mexico, back to Atlanta, and you recognise them from cities before, and it becomes such a travelling family. And it's so enjoyable. You learn about people, you share the nerves and the enjoyment and the jubilations together, and you follow each other on social media. It's been amazing. What an opportunity for me, actually. Thank you to GB News for allowing us, Ben and I, to do this. It's been incredible, and I hope my enthusiasm for this World Cup adventure has relayed itself to viewers and listeners back home. But yeah, it's been amazing, a time I'll never forget, and yeah, just disappointing end. But let's just remember how far the squad got and how well they played, not least in the Azteca in Mexico. It made me feel so happy and proud to be English, seeing the grit and the determination and the fortitude that the squad played, especially in that Mexico game. You know, one man down, penalties that never were, red cards, and I think we should. That's the great thing about sport. I love sport so much because you can take so many lessons from that kind of performance and what you see on the pitch. It's such a mental challenge, and you can transcend that into real life as well. And hopefully, England as a country, the United Kingdom as a whole, hopefully we can take something from that that bravery and the patriotism we've seen from the past 6 months, because we've shown that we've got it. We've shown that when we want to come together in unity and remember who we are, we're English, we're brave, we can apply that to anything. Winston, do you want to come in quickly? Winston Marshall's here, musician, podcaster. Hi, mate, you're in the stadium.
Yeah, we were in the thick of the Argentina fans, which I would say were mostly well-behaved, and it was actually not a bad atmosphere, but they were certainly, at the beginning of the game, singing their Malvinas songs, what they call the Falklands, and now, I don't know if you've seen this.
Just talking about it, the banner the players are holding. What do you make of that?
Well, you know, I'm sort of sick of this, where it's basically the Argentinian version of Palestinianism, and they're all doing their politics. It's kind of a woke thing all over again. Remember, it's with BLM, they're taking the knee forever and all this trans stuff. It's all political, except, and it's the same thing again. They're making it completely political. Obviously, those islands are not Argentinian. They're British, and it's not a bloody joke. A lot of British servicemen and Argentinians died in that war, an illegitimate war of conquest. They have absolutely no right to do it. And by the way, it wasn't just British boys and girls who were left fatherless by that war. Many Argentinians. I mean, what are they doing? What are they playing at? What is the vice president of that country doing, stoking like this and aggravating? It's just, I thought it was really gross. But anyway,
it is gross.
They didn't remember their white flag of surrender like last time. Don't remember they lost that war, and should it come to it, we would win again.
Yeah, I was just saying that as well. It's been a great adventure with you in this World Cup. I've seen you in many cities.
Ben, you've done a great job.
Good fun.
The people love this guy. Every time we're in Miami, here in Atlanta, following around, we find Ben, and all the England fans, they come up to him, they grab him, they love him, they say, thank you, we love GB News, thanks for everything you're doing. He's a bloody legend. And there's a lot of people who are like, I can't go on GB News, but thanks, I watch secretly. We know that some of the players' families are watching secretly. Won't give away which players.
Yeah.
Pretty big players.
Yeah, we spoke to Patrick, again, we won't say, I promised them I wouldn't, but we spoke to some players' auntie and uncle who said massive fans of the channel. They said actually, I won't say it because it will give it away, but yeah, massive fans of the channel, and they said that the player in question, and a group of the players, they enjoy GB News, which is great.
Your Gary Linekers and your Gary Nevilles, they give it all of that, but there's only one or two of them. The real players are proper English patriots, and they don't fall for the woke bollocks.
Yeah, well, sorry for that. Thank you, mate. Cheers, Winston. Patrick, there we go. Great summary of the World Cup. It's been awesome, and we shouldn't throw the players or the manager under the bus. So they've done great. Back to you.
Yeah, well, indeed. And there we go. And by the way, I do have a pretty good idea about, I think I do anyway, about which players' families you're talking about there. And again, it would be quite interesting for Gary Neville and Gary Lineker, I think, to find that out. For a lot of people that try and kind of, import a load of this kind of woke nonsense onto the England football team and everything, you actually realise that they don't, a lot of them do not agree with you at all. But anyway, just an apology for some of the language there, but emotions running high, of course. So there we are. Right, OK, look, we're just about done for this show. Obviously, the whole last hour, sadly, was dominated by England crashing out of the World Cup. So, we had to do it, I'm afraid. It's the big breaking news story, isn't it? In the next hour, yeah, OK, fine, we're going to touch on it a bit, but I'm also going to get to some other news stories of the day. Police have arrested a man over a threat to shoot Nigel Farage in the head. They've also got Keir Starmer signing off from Parliament with a standing ovation. I know I've teased that a bit, but I promise you we will get to that in the next one, because we've got some just unbelievable clips that took place in Parliament Day. You didn't just get a standing ovation in the House of Commons, you got a standing ovation around the cabinet. So it was nice they took the knives out of his back quickly enough, isn't it, for them to give him a standing ovation. Anyway, we're going to talk about all of that and loads of other news stories as well when we come back.
We're celebrating a golden summer with a terrific two-part Great British giveaway. First, you could win a sensational £60,000 in tax-free cash. And that's not all, as you'll also win our most precious prize to date, a fine gold bar worth over £5,000. For a chance to win, text GOLD to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB22 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrants must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 21st of August. This is a network giveaway. Entries will be pooled. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
At the stroke of midnight, the news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
Day in, day out. Forget stuffy late night TV shows. We're giving you a front row ticket to the centre of the political universe.
Because breaking news doesn't wait for the morning.
And neither do we. Join us for one of the most controversial and volatile times of politics in human history.
A very big story.
Big story over here.
You won't get this anywhere else. The Late Show live at midnight, every night.
Only on GB News.
Some people enjoy lazy Sunday mornings, but not me.
What's the truth of the matter?
So that's a very live question.
Would you support him if he waters down these plans?
Before the spin sets in, I'll be getting to the truth.
This is personal.
No soft questions, no easy answers.
It's one thing if the state has rules in this country. It's another thing whether the police and others actually police them.
Setting the agenda and holding those in power to account.
You can't really blame her if the system is set up this way.
You will not want to miss it, trust me. The Camilla Tominey Show, Sundays from 9:30, only on GB News.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk
No,
now?
that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Breaking news, live updates, stories that matter.
From the heart of the GB newsroom to every corner of Britain, with our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
GB News bulletins are there to deliver the latest news that matters to you. Bulletins on GB News,
The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Well, welcome along to Patrick Christys Tonight, late edition. Look, it's heartbreak for England as they crash out of the World Cup in a 2-1 loss to Argentina, but they're just to settle slightly on this now. We were live on air when it all happened, and, you know, understandably, you go through exactly the same emotions as the people that you're seeing on your screen now, but I just want to make one thing very clear. Very, very, very proud of our England Lions. Thank you very much for some tremendous memories throughout this World Cup. Unbelievable memories. You really did do your very best to stand tall for our country and try to bring it home, and you can leave with your heads held high. There is absolutely no disgrace in losing to the team as annoying as they are, who you know, are the current World Cup winners, etc., etc. Anyway, in other news, this lone England fan representing the feelings of millions of England fans this evening. We're going to try and pick ourselves up off the floor, although this is incredibly annoying. Controversy now as Argentina fans and players have held up a flag saying Las Malvinas. I just want to say on this, I would much rather have won the war than won the semi-final, and you know, they don't know what the first one of those things feels like, do they? In other news, Prince William has paid tribute to the England team. Gutted, England, you gave it everything. We are all so proud of you. We are are. We are very proud of you. We are. There will be conversations had about some tactical decisions, about some substitutions that were made and went, fine, look, that's football, that's the way it is. And, you know, when it goes in your favour, you're a genius. And when it doesn't, then people start pointing the finger, don't they? But I don't really know if it's the time for that. There isn't a disgrace, ultimately, in losing to a very, very good team that includes possibly the greatest player to ever play the game in a semi-final of a World Cup. And if you do hear as well, the England fans that were out there, and we've spoken to many, many, many of them over the course of this World Cup campaign, they've all had such a